4, 5, 6, 3. Oh, I could have sworn. Oh no, I didn't. That's what it is. Let me do that again. And I'll see what that is. See.
Yeah. So what we gonna do? We basically just gonna start this one off talking about them kids, man. True friendship within the youth of America. The self-help book for the youth, teaching them who their real friends is before they leave home from mom and pops, so they can differentiate who's gonna help them become successful and who's gonna hinder them in life. What friends is, all about. From your advice, individual that raised and helped shape and mold me into the individual that I am. My question to you right now is, what character trait would you tell our youth in America do a real friend gotta be? What would you say from your heart? You don't gotta hold the book like that if you don't want to. Just be
trustworthy. What? Honest. What? Shit. Basically, was really the word that I was thinking of. That's fact.
Them good words though, trustworthy and honest.
No, I know them two, but that's not really what I know them two as far as having a friend. Most definitely, they two character traits that I would want somebody to be as. Loyal is the number one.
Most definitely.
And then most definitely, because loyal, what good is your trust or honesty if you can't be loyal?
Amen. And that's also the first topic that we do talk about in the book. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But why is those things important to you? You know what I mean? You talk about trust, you talk about honesty, you talk about loyalty. Why is those things important in friendship, especially in today's society, and growing up in the Bay Area with all the different things that these kids is dealing with in different time frames, especially, times have changed. Things ain't the same as they used to be. Why is those things important in friendship? What would you say to the kids?
For me, what it always have been important for is because on the strength of that I was brought up in the society at one time where betrayal was like a habitat.
Give me an example what you mean by betrayal could be in a habitat.
You thought that they was true friends, but they weren't.
Right.
You thought they were the people that you could consult in, or whatever it is, but they weren't.
Right.
You know what I mean? At the same time, it was like our judgment pattern was being brought up around people that was like us, right? Come to find out, they're not like you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Even firsthand, being brought up under the same roof sometimes don't mean the truth evolves.
So you saying sometimes not even just your friends, it could be your immediate family.
Yes.
Okay, but how can one tell? How can you know what I mean? What you know what I mean? What one have to go through to be able to tell this when all they do is want to show love? Because that's really what can blind them.
Well, what can blind you is you'll be able to find out, and there'll be a time in a situation that definitely will unfold everything in the pattern of whatever it is somebody will give you. They might have had you thinking that it was all cookies and cream, but the situation might have simple. What can I get you? It could be an issue with a woman involved, a girlfriend. It could be an issue with you just being able to get something that they couldn't get.
Right.
It'll speak for itself. Okay. But it's up to you whether or not if you're going to set that judgment to understand that was one of the characters that cannot be evolved or allowed in the world of what you call them to have a friendship.
Amen. What do you think it takes to make it out of a bad neighborhood? Or what do we all have to do as a community to come together to make our neighborhoods better?
The only way is, like you just said, come together for one. In many cases of coming together, meaning understanding in everybody's involvement and value of whatever it is that might be going on in your community that you think that might be holding against.
Okay. When you give you a couple seconds right there. So when you talk about value, like, can you give an example of what you mean that people may be holding against, or what you expound on?
What you created as a person in holisticness. It, there's different values that you can be structured as in as a neighbor, whatever it is in your society and all that. The value that I'm speaking on is if you're not trying to be above what they consider as the lesser, which you know what the lesser is.
Right. Just where you was at and below.
Whatever, yeah, exactly.
I'm with you. I'm following.
With that being said, I'm not saying criticize or think that you're better than, but know yourself better than somebody else could ever be able to dictate, put it like that. So you don't become something that you not really, it's not in tune for you to become something else outside yourself.
Amen. 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 And my son just had his first sermon the other day, and that's what they was actually speaking about to my son, about him being himself and things like that. And that's amazing for you to say that right now.
No, man, because we could fall into the values of what somebody else is by not okay. What I can say.
Listen, his mentors was explaining that to him, and you has been my mentor forever, all my life. You saying the same thing to me right now. So trust and believe, I get it. You feel what I'm saying? I get it. You know what I mean? So this the last question for this segment. Then we're gonna wrap up to something just more open, more comfortable, because it's about where we come from. You know what I mean? But what do you think it take to make it? No. We talked about what it take to make it out of a bad neighborhood. Matter of fact, let the world know where you're originally from. I know where you're from.
Richmond, California.
Okay, Richmond, California.
Yeah, Steve Street.
Okay, all right. What do you want to see changed in America to make it better for everybody, or even in the Bay Area? Because the Bay Area real diverse. America is not as diverse as the Bay Area. I've been out on my journey trying to make it a little bit more diverse as the Bay Area, and I came back home and I've realized that how I'm trying to get other places to be more open to being able to speak with other cultures and things like that. It's really like that here at home. And I see why, while I'm out in the streets and these other places, that I'm so open to it, because I've been around it all my life. And I just didn't even know that that's really why, you know what I mean? It's like it's been embedded in me all my life. So I've been open to different cultures and being around all these different people all my life or whatever. But what is it that you want to see changed, in America or even in the Bay Area to make it better for everybody?
What can I say? It's a lot of things, but the main thing that I can think of is for what can I say? It's not a coexistence. I'm trying to think of all the time, but it's okay for us not to have fallen so much under the influence of whatever the media had to structure.
So you saying the brainwash syndrome that may end up, because it's there, they could just keep putting it in our face, and then whatever it is that we see. Right, okay.
So then you become whatever it is that you substance up. When they think it all the time, drugs is the worst thing. No, media.
Gotcha. That's deep. Okay, so what can we do to change that? What you feel that we can do to actually change that?
Actually, the only thing that we can do as the people is when they ever give us a chance to, do council all the time, whatever it is, you got to be involved with your city.
Okay, so more people involved with city council, finding out what's going on with their local government, because local government actually help with more state government and things like that, and that's where the change actually starts.
The only change that it can be, because the people is who make the difference.
Gotcha. All right, well, everybody, y'all heard it right here with Cuts. You feel what I'm saying? My mentor individual helped lace me into the individual that I am.
Don't ever think that you don't count.
Matter of fact, while I got you here, I'm gonna ask you, if you don't mind, you could let the world know something good about the book Arthur of True Friendship Within the Youth of America, and let the world know something bad, about the book Arthur, True Friendship Within the Youth of America. Be real as you possibly can. You know what I mean?
In the structure of how I look at things, period, as an involvement as a youth, when you growing up, as yourself just as well. Is Eric, you feel me? You can't look at it, none of it, as a value like it was restricted to be a negative. Want me to tell you why?
Why is that?
How far do you think you made it and grew from that?
What you mean by that?
Your growth value. You did a lot. Now, who's to say if you would have went through a lot that you've been through?
Yeah.
Who's to say that you would be who you are?
Right. Maybe I would have been better if I didn't have to go through all the stuff I've been through.
Because I'm gonna tell you, the ones that go through the worst is the ones that strive and fight harder because they don't feel like it's. They feel more so like it's a must instead of it just being something that's spoiled kids. Believe me, let me tell you, they fuck up worse at your age and growing while from birth, whatever it is, because they always was in tune to things was given to them.
Yeah.
Instead of them earning.
Right.
You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
It's a big difference. Totally big difference. You know what I mean? And you went through having to earn whatever your stability, situation, everything. As a kid growing up, period. You had to earn that. It wasn't something that was just given to you. The only thing that was given to you is that the love that you did have to wrap their arms around.
Yeah, amen for that too. For real, because that's the only thing that kept me focused. That's deep. Okay, now, as far as the bad, if that's what you know what I mean, what?
Yeah, most definitely. Well, the Derek that I know, like you were saying, that was raised up under me. Shit, boy, you always been a hustler.
So really, okay. So so what's bad about hustling then? Like, give me the bad aspect.
There is nothing bad about hustling. It is always the goal aspect part. If you got a goal set for whatever your hustle is, that means you are growing, period. That's goal setting.
Amen. Amen.
That is not something that you look down on, no matter what. You feel me? I mean, you can have used the most dirtiest ways to get there, but if you learn as you grew.
Yeah, and that's the whole point. Okay, so that now you get into what I'm talking about. And that's where I'm at right now. I'm still trying to learn. But I only can learn from the people that know me best. And so those people that know me best, I need them to be real.
Strangers got some answers for us too. We just gotta pay attention as they are, because see, God is the one who put the tools in.
It's a lot of strangers that walk up to me and speak to me and give me advice all the time. Like while I'm on Bill Street and the many places
God
that I be pushing. Yeah, they say some powerful shit. They do. They do.
Your toolbox is not getting filled for no reason. You feel me? And as long as you understand and utilize the tools appropriately as they give it to you, you already know, man, shit, the job is done.
Amen. Amen.
Period.
Amen.
God don't give you that. You don't get all them experiences for nothing. They make a difference. All you got to do is just understand them as they start to, it'll allow you to build a mountain, man, if you want one. But some people, like, some people get into it, like myself just as well. Not saying that I just be like all the time. No, it's not meant for me. It's meant for me to be the one with the information to be able to give it to somebody else that do want to do it.
Amen. Amen. And it's good that some people not afraid to share information or withhold information to help other people expand, and they can be able to see their growth as if, like, even though they might not get the credit for it, they can see like, man, I helped that individual get to where they at.
Credit is within whoever the successor is. You don't have to speak on somebody else's name for them to get to do credit for it. Why? Because you're a universe child. Guess what the universe do for you?
What's that?
That's unspoken. You're going to get growth.
Okay, let's get into this next segment. Actually, we're going to end this and start another one, y'all. You feel me?
I wouldn't expect somebody else to be able to speak on who I can be.
Let me see.